Pitching woes continue for the Dodgers. Man, I don't like to be the bearer of bad news, but we don't like what we're seeing with the Dodgers pitching woes continuing. In this, we're going to talk about Justin Wrobleski. We're also going to talk about Bobby Miller, the bullpen breakdowns that we've been having, all that coming up here. Make sure you subscribe on Dodgers Digest. Get the latest information on everything going on Dodgers Digest. Brad J. with you here. And let's get right down to business on what's going on with the Dodgers. Well, LA still hasn't named a starting pitcher for Friday in St. Louis. Justin Wrobleski in the mix. Bobby Miller might be needed for bullpen coverage. This according to Eric Steffen, SB Nation. Yeah, it doesn't look good, does it? You start thinking about what's going on right now with the Dodgers and blowing the lead, had the lead, used 4 pitchers out of the bullpen, just things not looking good, right? Is it time to sell the ship? Is it time to abandon the ship, put the life preservers on, get off the boat? I don't think so. Because before we get into any of this information right now, think about this. We're still second best record in the National League. 71-51. Only the Phillies have a better record, same amount of wins, but only 50 losses for the Phillies. So, is it time to just panic? And don't do it, okay? It's not time to panic. Not yet, okay? I'll let you know when it's time to panic, okay? Before the Dodgers series finale on Thursday in Milwaukee, manager Dave Roberts, he told reporters at American Family Field that a bullpen game was still possible for Friday. But that was also before you used 4 relievers that were not effective against the Brewers, that matching Wednesday's total. So that's not something that I think that Roberts planned on happening. So he's going to talk about it and say, oh, yeah, you know what, probably a bullpen game. It's a good idea. All right. What would you do at this point? Let's drop those in the comments below on that. Okay, so let's get into it right now. Bobby Miller was scratched from his start on Thursday for OKC. They were interested in using a bullpen game in Vegas, right? Well, they're not going to. And you would think, why would they scratch him? Also, Justin Wrobleski is no longer listed to take a scheduled AAA start that he was going to do on Friday. Well, and so look, to me, the writing's on the wall right there. You scratch Bobby Miller from his appearance for Oklahoma City. You scratch Justin for his appearance as well. Kind of see something going on. Well, the Dodgers haven't yet announced their starter. They haven't? By their actions, I think they have announced their starter for Friday's game in St. Louis, but both Wrobleski and Miller could figure into the weekend's pitching plans. Okay, well, how would that work out? Well, for what it's worth, Wrobleski has been mentioned multiple times in last week by Roberts as a potential fill-in starter for Friday, and that would have been River Ryan's slot, and Tommy John got the best of him. Okay, so just with that being said right there, think about it. Just read between the lines. Roberts mentioned him. Roberts talking about him. Scratches happen. It doesn't take Nostradamus or someone with a big brain to figure this out, what's going on, right? Because he's scratching right now. He doesn't know what to do. When asked about ahead of Wednesday's game in Milwaukee, Miller, who has a massive 8.07 ERA and 7 major league starts this season and has allowed 9 runs and 11 walks. Not just 9 runs in 13 innings, combine that with 11 walks. Wow. In his 3 AAA starts since getting optioned. So that's not good. Getting closer to returning to he was getting closer to returning to the majors. Roberts was non-committal. I wonder sometimes when he's non-committal if he's just holding back because he's showing his cards on what he's going to do, and you see what's going on. So I feel like everyone else knows what's going on, but Roberts doesn't want to commit to it is what's happening here. All right, considering the Dodgers still have 6 more days remaining to complete a stretch of 13 games in a row, that's a lot. Using a bullpen game on Friday wouldn't be conducive to having a rested bullpen for the next trip through the rotation. And think of what we've seen out of the bullpen, right? So it's decision time, man, especially since the relief corps is already showing signs of fatigue. So, I mean, look, I'm not trying to be the bearer of bad news and be the negative Nancy on this thing, But it's just, you start looking at what's going on, you start feeling kind of what's happening, and then you start thinking, well, you know what? Roberts is pretty much showing what he's going to do here. And I think the Justin and the Bobby thing is going to happen for the Dodgers. All right, let's keep going here. I don't know the answer to all this, but we think we're better if Bobby's with us, Robert said on Wednesday. With an 8.07 ERA, I don't know how that's better. I mean, Buehler had less than that. What's his? 5 and some change? I mean, that's a lot. Robert said this on Wednesday, as shown on Sports LA. But with health, performance, and all that stuff, I'm not sure what the stuff means here. I don't know when his time is going to be back with us. But I think we all agree when he's right, there's not many better options. Okay, let's talk about that. When he's right. And I have to agree with that 100%. I feel like when he's right, I think he's a good option. But is he right now? Or is it like, you have no choice, we're going to have to use him, we're running out of options, the bullpen's exploding, what do we do? I mean, are we scratching at the surface of this thing, or what's going on here? But with, wrapping up 13 games, going into St. Louis, I think decisions are going to have to be made. Decisions are going to have to be made. Okay, well, how do the Dodgers fare against St. Louis, right? This is going to be the second meeting of the season between the two teams. It's been a while since they met. Yeah, because it was at the freaking beginning of the season. Dodgers took 3 of 4 games from the Cardinals at Dodger Stadium. Well, this isn't at Dodger Stadium. This is going to be in St. Louis. And that was the opening for St. Louis. Now, they don't have a great record. What are they, 60 and 61? So they have more losses than wins right now. But then you start looking at the history between the two teams. These two teams have exceedingly long history. It dates all the way back to 1890. I know you're saying, Brad J., were you there in 1890? No, I may be old, but I definitely wasn't there in 1890. But the Dodgers have, check this narrow margin out between the two in the all-time annals of winning. 1,047 matchups Dodgers have won, came out on top, right? To 1,039 for the Cardinals. Look at the difference in those numbers right there. Not much, right? And this goes back to 90. And I always feel like teams step up when they have to play the Dodgers. Even teams that are having losing records, they step up when they have to play the Dodgers. And so I'm hoping that maybe they're going to have an off couple days. But, all right, what do we take away from all this? Dodgers have the second best record in the National League. So let's not forget that. I know we'd like to see them with a 10-game advantage, but that is not the case right now as we speak. Bullpen needs rest. We all know that. We need some starting pitchers to get deep into games and get 5 to 6 innings, quality starts. We need quality starts from them. But also, they're not struggling as far as the record goes. So you got to believe, you got to get behind them, and you got to just hope. 2 games in front of the Padres, in front of Arizona. What would you do? All right? I've seen some comments from the last video. Can't read some of those on the air, but what would you do? Put that in the comments below. All right. Well, that's going to wrap things up. Make sure you subscribe to Dodger Digest. You'll get up-to-the-date coverage of what's going on with the Dodgers. And hopefully we can stop stumbling a little bit here and get things on the record and make things happen. So comments below. Subscribe to Dodgers. I'm Brad J. Thanks for tuning in to Dodgers Digest. Think Blue.